Hi guys, before I start today's video, I just wanted to announce something which I'm really excited about, but I have got tickets to go and see Paul McCartney in December this year. I really can't wait. I didn't think I was going to get hold of tickets. I managed to get them in the pre-sale, and originally I was at work, so I asked my mum if she could try and book tickets for me. And unfortunately she wasn't able to get hold of any, so I just assumed they were all sold out. But just out of chance, I thought I'll give it a go after work, and I just sailed straight through to the tickets. I could not believe it, and they're really good seats as well. I am near the front, not right at the front, but quite close to the stage, and I just can't wait. The last time I saw Paul McCartney was in 2015 when he toured in the UK, and that was the only time I've seen him actually. So seeing him again, I'm just so excited. I've been waiting so long for him to do more UK performances. So yeah, December, I'm going to see Paul McCartney. Moving on to today's video, I recently rewatched the Beatles performances in Tokyo, and they said it themselves that one of those performances wasn't their best, and you can really tell that they're frustrated during that performance. They know they're not playing their best. But I just think it's such a treat that we're able to still see those performances today. And so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the Beatles' time in Tokyo. The Beatles arrived in Tokyo, Japan on the 29th of June 1966. They left the aircraft dressed in happy coats which had the airline's logo on. Apparently the flight attendants were instructed to ensure that the Beatles wore the Japanese traditional coats to help publicity for the airline. And when they left the aircraft, they thought they were being greeted by fans like usual, but in fact they were mostly surrounded by security. The Beatles stayed in the presidential suite of the Tokyo Hilton, where apart from their concerts and a press conference, it's where they spent all of their time as they weren't allowed to go anywhere. Paul did say on one occasion he did manage to sneak out to the hotel, but was chased by a policeman and brought back. And John Lennon also managed to escape to a marketplace once, but was also brought back to the hotel. Paul also said that they were brought a lot of things to the hotel because they weren't able to go out shopping. A lot of people came to them trying to sell them things. They were also gifted a lot of stuff as well. Some of the stuff they were gifted were some art supplies, and the Beatles really enjoyed spending their time painting. And they painted this picture here, which became known as the Images of a Woman. Each Beatle painted a corner each, and they sat a lamp in the centre so they could see what they were painting, and the area where the lamp was placed has been signed by each of the members. And this painting was sold at auction and sold for $1.7 million. When I was reading about this painting they did, I just loved the thought of them spending this time together doing something like this, not having to worry about the concert or what was going on around them. I just can imagine it being a really nice moment for them. And their photographer at the time, Robert Whittaker, said that they'd stop painting, go and do a concert, then it was let's get back to the picture. And I just really love this. During the anthology documentary series, Paul, George and Ringo talk about their time in Japan, and they explain how everything was very scheduled and precise. They tell a funny story of how when they had to leave a hotel, everything was planned like a military maneuver. And in the anthology interview, George tells a really funny story explaining how their day was so planned out. He said that the instructions would be like, at precisely 5:30 there will be a knock at the door. At 5:32 we will leave the hotel. At 5:33 we will arrive at the elevator. At 5:35 we will arrive at the car park. And being the cheeky lads they were, when there was the knock at the door, they would delay the time. So then all these time-conscious security staff would just be running around in a panic because they didn't stick to the precise times in their schedule. The Beatles performed 5 concerts over 3 days in Japan, 1 concert on the 30th of June and 2 on each of the following days, the 1st and the 2nd of July. They played at the Budokan, which caused some controversy as the venue was only used for martial arts as well as a shrine to the Japanese war heroes, so some were outraged the Beatles were performing here. So much so that the Beatles received death threats, so the security around the group was extreme throughout their stay. And apparently, compared to the measures taken when Japan hosted the 1964 Olympic Games, around 35,000 were hired to protect them. Their first performance in Japan didn't go as well as they planned. Because of high security, the fans in the audience were restricted to what they could do and were warned that anyone standing up or cheering could risk being arrested. The audience were also more quiet and reserved to what the Beatles were used to, and so they got a real shock when they realised that they could actually hear themselves play, because they had become so accustomed to not being able to hear themselves while they were performing on stage. But George learnt quickly that if he waved, the audience would cheer, so he did this a few times throughout the performance to cover up any bad playing moments. The Beatles spoke about how Paperback Writer and Nowhere Man were particularly hard to perform live, and they were 2 of the songs they were performing during the concert. The other songs that were performed were Rock and Roll Music, She's a Woman, If I Needed Someone, Day Tripper, Babies in Black, I Feel Fine, Yesterday, I Want to Be Your Man, Nowhere Man, Paperback Writer, and I'm Down. And when you watch over the concert, you can really see how frustrated the Beatles actually are during the performance. The microphones, the staff mustn't have tightened them properly because they're constantly moving throughout the performance, and Paul is especially getting very frustrated at this. He keeps pulling the mic back, and he even says if only this mic would stay still. Yeah, you can definitely see he's getting angry. And there's a moment where John messes around and moves with the microphone while it's moving, but I can imagine that being very annoying for them. And George shows his annoyance during the performance as well by swearing during If I Needed Someone. You can see that he's forgetting the words here and there, and just their general playing isn't the best. But after the shock of this first performance, the rest of their performances in Japan go well. But despite the controversy, the high security and the shock of their first performance, the Beatles said that their overall time spent in Japan was a happy one. But things did get worse from there when their next destination was the Philippines. And when they did return back to England, they decided that year that they were going to end their career as live performers. Thank you very much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!